In this video today, you are going to learn how to put together your clarinet, take it apart, swab it out, and to play your first notes on the clarinet. So today, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have it sitting on our lap if you're big enough. If you're kind of small and you don't have a very big lap, I strongly encourage you to put it on your chair instead before you start so that you don't drop it out. Make sure that your latches are closed before you start so that it doesn't all dump out onto the floor. When we get ready to start, notice the name of the clarinet is facing the ceiling, so that when we open it, it opens in the right direction. Undo the latches and pop it open. Inside, you're going to see lots of different pieces. This is my swab. I'm going to just put it off to the side for a little bit. We'll use that in a little while. We should have some reeds in a box or maybe by themselves. And we have the pieces of the clarinet. I'm going to start by putting it together using the two pieces with the keys. I'm going to pick up one piece with my left hand and the biggest piece with my right hand. So the smaller piece with my left hand, the biggest piece with my right hand. Notice how I've got them this direction. When I get ready to put it together, I am going to make sure that these two little guys meet together. Now notice when I put it together, ooh, if it's kind of stiff, I might need to grab some cork grease. It's probably in your case. If not, you'll need to get some because this could be hard without cork grease if your corks are new, if your instrument's brand new, or if you've got new corks on your instrument. I usually cork grease maybe once a month. If it's brand new, I might have to do it every day until it feels better. So I put a little cork grease right on those corks. I'm going to do them all for just a minute before I start because maybe your instrument's brand new and needs a little cork grease to get started. There's a cork on this piece too down here. Just a little bit, then I take my fingers and rub it along. And there's a cork on my mouthpiece as well. All right, once I've got that all done, don't put this on your lips. You won't like it if you do. It's kind of sticky. It does smell kind of good though. All right, back to the smaller piece with the keys in my left hand, the big piece in my right hand. I'm going to try to put those together, twist and push. Now notice this little part right here, you're going to see it lifts up if I push those keys down. See that little piece right there lifting up? That has to go right over the top of this other key, right there. That's where you know that you have them together. So when you look at it, it lines up perfectly. See that? So once I get that done, the rest of the instrument's pretty easy. I put the bell on. See, this part looks like a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Put that on the bottom. Twist and push until it goes on. The barrel looks like a little barrel. Goes on the top. Twist and push. And then my last piece is the mouthpiece. Twist and push. This little piece is called a ligature. I'm just going to put that off to the side for a second. Now, the mouthpiece, when we put it on, should line up the hole with the side with only that one key on it. See that? This way. The hole of the mouthpiece with this key, not the opposite direction. Okay? All right. This guy we call a ligature, and it's going to hold on your reed. Now, normally when I'm putting my instrument together, I have my reed in my mouth getting wet. Yeah, we have to suck on it a little bit in order to get it moist. Be careful not to bend it inside your mouth because they are fragile and will break. I'm going to close my case, put it down on the floor under my chair, And then I'm going to take the reed and I'm going to attach it to my mouthpiece. Now my ligature, yours might have screws on the front of it like this. That's probably where most of you guys will do, but I have a different kind of ligature that mine only has one screw and it goes on the back. But notice whenever you have the screw to do up, it should always be done with your right hand. If you have it backwards, you'll have to do it with your left hand, which would be wrong. So you want to make sure that those screws are always easy to do with your right hand. So, have my ligature loose. I'm going to put my wetted reed underneath the ligature. Now notice I just kind of pop my ligature up a little bit, slide my reed down. I'm going to try not to touch the top of my reed because that's the most fragile part of the reed. And then it goes onto that hole of the mouthpiece like this until it's just flush with the top of the mouthpiece, nice and straight. Now my ligature should also be straight on top of that, and it should come below the smile or the cut of the reed. You can see that mine has that little smile right there. My ligature is below that. Now I can tighten the ligature. When I tighten it, I just do it until it's firm. I don't have to really crank it because you'll break the screws on your ligature. And remember, yours are probably on the front of the ligature and you need to tighten them with your right hand. Okay? Now your instrument is fully put together. Check your ligature, make sure it's low enough. It's below the cut of that reed or the smile of the reed. Sometimes mouthpieces have little lines on them. I don't know if you can see mine. Mine has little lines on the mouthpiece. That ligature fits right below that line. See that? Now, when I get ready to play my instrument, my fingers are going to be in a certain form. Now notice my right hand is going to come low. You cannot mix this up because it will not work if you do. You might be able to get some fingers to do it backwards, but it would be really hard to play all the other keys you have to. So make sure that your right thumb sits underneath this little holder. This is what we call the thumb holder. And my right thumb is going to sit under there. That's what helps hold on to our instrument. Notice I can do it with just my right hand if I'm holding on to it with that thumb holder. My left hand will come to the top of the instrument. And notice my thumb will cover this little hole back here. And it has to cover the whole hole. And then my fingers will come around and cover these holes. 1, 2, 3. Eventually, this hand will cover these holes. 1, 2, 3. And our pinkies eventually will get to play all these keys. This finger gets to play these keys. These fingers get to play these keys. So we have a lot of keys on the clarinet. But for right now, we're just going to worry about these fingers right here on our left hand. Left hand high, right hand low. All right, so making our first sounds on the instrument will be something like this. I'm going to take my barrel off with my head joint, or with my mouthpiece still on and my reed still on. I'm going to put my clarinet down safely somewhere, either on the floor or on a chair somewhere next to you. It's open. And I'm going to hold the barrel with my right hand. Now, this is really an important part of playing the clarinet properly. It's the formation of our mouth. We call it the embouchure. Embouchure. That's the formation of our mouth on the mouthpiece. So notice this part of the instrument, the reed, is actually going to sit on our lower lip. And I'm going to roll my bottom lip over my bottom teeth like this. I'm going to take the top teeth and I'm going to set them on top of the mouthpiece. Right there, you'll see kind of where my teeth hit. I have about this much of the mouthpiece in my mouth. Then I'm going to take a big breath. I'm going to close everything up and I'm going to blow through the instrument. It should make this sound. Kind of sounds like a goose, doesn't it? Well, this is just making the sound on our instrument. If you don't get that sound, keep practicing until you do. Take it out. Try it again. Stop the video there and keep doing that until it becomes super easy. Once you get that really, really well, you're going to notice that I am touching the reed with my tongue every time I start a note. I say t, and my tongue will actually hit the tip of the reed. Listen. Can you hear my tongue hitting the reed? Ta, 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 ta. While I'm blowing air through the instrument. Try it with me. Do it as many times as you need to till you feel confident with it. We call this tonguing. We will start every note with the tongue. Once you get that good, you can practice this as many times as you need, but once you get that good, put the head joint, or excuse me, the mouthpiece and the barrel on top of the instrument again. Twist and push till it's ready to go. Remember, our right hand is low, our left hand is high. We're going to play our first note today, which is an E. Let me show you where that is on the board. It's the very first line of the staff. Let me get it a little closer so you can see. That note, first line of the staff, E. That's its name, E. So for a while, they might show you the names of the notes, but you're going to have to eventually memorize where that's at. And we also have to remember where the fingering is on the instrument. Let me show you. The thumb is on the back hole, left hand, and the first finger is on the first hole. Remember, our right hand is low, holding onto the instrument. Nothing else is touching. Form the embouchure. And we should get that sound. If you're getting a squeak or a squawk, you probably have too much mouthpiece in your mouth. So pull out the mouthpiece just a little bit until you get that nice sound. Remember to start with your tongue. Take out the instrument, take your hand off, put it back on, see if you can find it. Roll that bottom lip over, top teeth sitting on top of the mouthpiece. And get that beautiful E. See how long you can hold it. I counted to 20. Did you get that far? Well, if you didn't, keep practicing until you can get it to hold at least for 8 counts. All right. Now, that is our first notes on our clarinet. And you can keep practicing that till you feel confident with E. Check your thumb, make sure it's covering the hole all the way. Check your first finger. Make sure we're not touching anything down here or anything else on the instrument. All right, once you're super good at that and our practice session is done, then we're going to take the instrument apart. we're going to do it exactly the opposite of how we put it together. So the first thing that comes off would be our reed. We always protect our reed, and if it needs to be dried off, just wipe it onto your swab and put it back in its little case. I grabbed the wrong swab. Okay. Now, when I get ready to take my instrument apart, I'm going to break it apart in the middle, just for ease of swabbing the instrument. I'm going to tip it upside down. I'm going to put the little weighted side of my swab through the bottom of my instrument and pull it through. I really like these silk swabs because the silk swab is easy to get out. If you don't have a silk swab, you can always buy one at the music store, or you can make one. Just get a little thin piece of silk, tie it to the string that you might already have on the swab that you already own, sew it on or tie it on, whatever you'd like, and use the piece of silk because it's so much easier to get through. Take off the bell, put it back in its case, and the pieces only fit in one spot in your case. So as you put it away, just pay attention to where it goes. Make sure it fits in properly, otherwise you won't be able to close your case. I'm going to take that ligature off so I don't lose it or step on it when I'm trying to get up. I'm turning this piece. Notice I've got those three pieces together. And I'm going to put my little weighted end through the bottom, all the way through the mouthpiece, and I'm going to swab it through. If this doesn't fit, make sure you take your mouthpiece off first. Then I'm going to take my mouthpiece off, put my ligature back on it, put the little cap that came over it, over the top of it like this, and put it back in the case. Barrel off next, back in the case. Upper joint, back in the case. Put my swab, wrap it up, put it inside my case, and close the case. Make sure you latch it all down. Everything's put away, nice and safe. And you're done. Practice this video as many times as you need.